Good morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. I am Gunnar Eos, and welcome to another episode of the Logical Gamers podcast. Tonight, I am joined by Mr. Esoteric and Mr. BlankaKong, and we're going to do a rundown tonight of the 2023 Video Game Awards nominees. So, recently the nominee list dropped for every category, the coveted game of the year, all the way down to best VR AR game. So we figured since we plan on doing a recording or live stream, where we're leading towards live stream, so obviously you guys will get more information on that when the December date gets closer. But we figured, kind of in anticipation of the Game Awards, we do a kind of a preemptive naming of who we're gonna think is gonna win. We're just gonna each give our suggestions. We're gonna kind of go back and forth of why we think this particular game will clinch this particular category, and we'll just go down the list of the nominees. So the list, I mean, you can find the list anywhere and everywhere, but the ones we're using is from the website Destructoid. Obviously, we will post that link if you guys haven't seen it and want to take a look at the nominees for yourself. And I guess no place like the present. We're going to start right at the top of the list, which is the Big Daddy Game of the Year award. And the nominees for that one are The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, Resident Evil 4, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. So, since I've already been talking, I will give my nominee. I think, and this is going to be kind of different from what these guys probably would expect me to say, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win. A quick reasoning for that is Baldur's Gate 3 is the third game in the coveted Baldur's Gate series. 1 and 2 were on PC. Like fucking I'm talking about way back. And this one took, I think, almost 10 years to come out. It took a decade. Yeah, it took a long while. And this has been received incredibly well. I mean, you've probably seen the memes. Yes, you can have sex with a bear. That is a thing you can do. But I mean, I've played it. It's a really fun Western style RPG. So it's top down, kind of strategy like, and being as a guy who's never really interacted with the world of Dungeons and Dragons, the whole like rolling dice to confirm certain skills and even rolling dice to win like intelligence checks, wisdom checks, and charisma checks in conversation, it's actually really fun. Like the random factor can go against you, but it's really fun if you just kind of roll with it like you would if you were playing an actual D&D campaign, like sitting down in a room with a bunch of guys playing. So I find that really enjoyable. And the voice acting is top notch. Okay. The game looks good. Which is not a deciding factor for me personally, but I know for a lot of people, let's be honest, Video Game Awards is a normie show. That's going to be a big factor for them. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it runs well on my PS5. I haven't had any issues with it. In a day and age where games tend to run like shit day one, this game ran well for me. So anyway, I rambled a bit there, but yeah, my nomination for me personally will be Baldur's Gate 3 as the Game of the Year winner. So,
well, I must say that I'm rather shocked. I was expecting my nominee, which I'm kind of sort of conflicted between the two. Both were phenomenal games, but I am going to have to pick Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which I thought you, Gunnar, were going to select.
Yeah, I have my issues with Tears of the Kingdom. I don't hate the game. The game is a phenomenal game, but that's a whole video in and of itself. But it's there are reasons why Tears of the Kingdom didn't eke out the W for me personally.
Yeah, I would say in a nutshell, because you have discussed it, earlier in the year, that you prefer the traditional Zelda games, and that Tears of the Kingdom didn't necessarily deliver those factors, which it doesn't, and I absolutely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
Um,
TLDR. That's about it. Yeah, it pretty sums it up well.
yeah, but I select Tears of the Kingdom. It's a phenomenal game. It's pretty much what I would look for from growing up in the old school ways of gaming, where like it's mostly gameplay from start to finish. Um, I am a little conflicted, however, because I did really enjoy Spider-Man 2. But I did play it during a time where they kind of ironed out all the bugs. They got some of that stuff out the way, whereas Tears of the Kingdom was pretty much playable from the start of the game. Um, if somehow Spider-Man 2 takes it from Tears of the Kingdom, then I wouldn't really be shocked, honestly. I feel as though that there was probably more people who played Spider-Man than Tears of the Kingdom. Um, as for Baldur's Gate 3, I don't have a dog in that fight. Um, Resident Evil 4, although I've heard many great things, I played the original, but I didn't play the remake. I've heard nothing but good things about it. However, I feel like it's unfair because although it was a game that was rebuilt from soup to nuts, it was inspired by its predecessor, which was the original Resident Evil 4. So I don't think remakes should be a part
Yeah, yeah.
of.
You're not the only one who shares that opinion. I've seen that a lot on the internet. That people are confused why 3 remake is up there because it is a remake.
Mhm.
Fundamentally, it is the same game.
Yeah, it,
So
it
yeah,
doesn't
you're not the only one.
it doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like it should not be a part of this race. Honestly, I feel like there should be a separate category that says like remakes of the year, because remakes are coming in like large
Yeah,
portions.
yeah, not wrong. Yeah.
They should have their own category. Um, Alan Wake 2, don't know much about it. Never played it. Um, Another contender, which I was really shocked about, but I've heard nothing but phenomenal reviews about, was Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I don't know if it could still. I mean, it probably has the potential to steal the number one spot because it is a Mario game that, you know, one thing Nintendo is really well known about is reinventing the wheel, even though they don't need to. But I heard Super Mario Brothers has introduced like a real sensational breath of fresh air when it comes to the 2D platforming of the Mario games. Like they've done a significant amount of things to make it a different Mario game from the earlier adaptations of the 2D versions of Mario. So I wouldn't be surprised either if it was to take the number one spot. But if I had to select one, I would say it's Tears of the Kingdom, hands down. Um, there was another contender that I was hoping to see on the list, but unfortunately, it wasn't there, which I was, kind of shocked, but not shocked. Not going to get into the whole details pertaining to that. But Hogwarts Legacy, despite the many controversial things and discussions that were going on pertaining to the game, it was received really well, not only from Harry Potter fans, but people who were non Harry Potter fans as well. So I'm really shocked and kind of not to see that it's not there. But if it was, I would say that if we were to omit Alan Wake and Resident Evil 4, and we were to put Hogwarts Legacy and maybe some other game, maybe Armored Core 6, I would say that it would have been a strong competition between the 6 entries. But yeah, TLDR, Legend of Zelda's Tears of the Kingdom, I think is going to take it for Game of the Year.
All right.
Passing it on to you, Kong.
Hey, so coming from the Phantom Zone, right? I'm in a different dimension right now. I want to make my part quick. I'm actually going to go for the dark horse. I think Mario's taking it. I think Nintendo's going to take it this year, and I think Mario's going to lead it. I think a lot of people expect Zelda to take it, but I think there's enough people that feel like there's not enough of a gap between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom
Hmm.
to where that could affect their vote. And I think Mario is normie enough with the movie, with just the success around that particular IP,
Hmm.
and the game being what it is, such a high quality 2D platformer, which we haven't gotten since 2013 with Mario Brothers U. I
Damn,
think
man.
there's been a long enough gap to where I think Mario is going to come surprise us all. So my vote is on Mario.
I I could definitely see that. Like that. Even though I did not play it, I have an interest in Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I do see it from what I have seen. I do see it as it being a competitor in these different categories. Um, the only thing that's going to shock me is if Alan Wake 2 or Resident Evil 4 takes
Nah,
it.
Alan Wake 2 ain't. No. I mean,
Hey,
I mean,
we've
anything can.
I was about to say because we've been shocked, you know, for some of these Game of the Year entries and them actually winning over other games. So
Deathloop, Deathloop.
I mean, Alan Wake 2 is in like. It feels like it's in almost every It's nominated for multiple categories, so it's gonna win something. I have no doubt. Alan Wake seems to kind of moved its way up to the top of the pack, but
yeah,
Game of the Year,
and then also not to mention it has relevance, right? Because it was the latest entry to be released right before the award show. So a lot of people are probably playing it now while it's fresh in their mind. And in this day and age, people are like they can only worry about things in the now, and they're super hype about it, and they tend to forget about the past. That might be a factor as well. I don't think it'll have enough star power to push it to the top, but if it does, I will be highly annoyed. And Resident Evil 4, which looking at the two games is way more elite than Alan Wake 2. I still don't see it being a competitor, or it should not have been a competitor simply because it's a remake. So yeah.
well, I can't play Alan Wake 2 because I can't hold Alan Wake 2 in my hands. So that game could do whatever the fuck it wants to do with itself. That was a stupid decision, and I will stick with that. Um, I know it's old man yells at clouds, but fuck it.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure they'll make physical copies in the future.
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure about it. When they look at the numbers and see like, oh, how many people like physical as opposed to digital, I think they're gonna pull a Sea of Stars move and make physical copies in the future.
we'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't hold my breath though, but we'll see. Okay, so that's the big one. That's the one everybody really cares about, if we're going to be honest. Game of the Year. All right, so on to the next category. Next category being Best Game Direction. And the nominees for this one are Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3, Nintendo with Super Mario Wonder, Nintendo again with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Remedy with Alan Wake 2, and Insomniac Games with Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now, if you guys can chime in if I'm explaining this wrong. So I've never been sure what they meant by best game direction. Um, is it like gameplay features? It's not story because that has its own category. Um,
Um, I I would say all of it is encompassed into one, like the mechanics, the story, the environment, the characters, the development. I think it's the development overall. Like, is it the significant changes between the previous game to the current game? I would say like a significant comparison between the two in terms of direction. That's what I think.
okay,
So my understanding, game direction is more so the overall package, kind of like what you said, esoteric. But it's not more. It's not about the development per se. I mean, that's a part of it, but it's more about like how digestible the game is from a direction standpoint. So like certain games kind of feel like narrative heavy, right? that game
Okay.
would have not so good. The direction for that game is not as good as something that feels like a smooth experience, right? Where it's like, oh man, that cutscene wasn't too long, wasn't too short,
Okay.
right? Oh, this gameplay feature wasn't too padded, right? Like a complaint about Spider-Man, the first one, would be like there was too much repetitiveness with like the side quests, right? So that game would have worse game direction than something like God of War, where that game didn't have a bunch of padding on its side quests, which is why I won Game of the Year that year. But yeah, game direction is more about like the overall package, like as a consumable product,
Uh,
if that makes
oh,
sense.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you for that. All right, so because I've always been like, the game goes forward. Like I don't know, like but that makes a lot more sense. Okay, so now getting a better understanding of what this category means, this one I will give to Tears of the Kingdom because putting my personal gripe with the world building and the story aside, um, funny enough, me and Kong talked about this a couple of days ago. Like what it brought to the table when I was like when I sat down and like brought up good points. It is pretty engaging, like the whole building mechanic with the whole like um fucking Elmer's glue power essentially. Um that was fun and it never really got uber boring. Like after a while, we all had our like bested slot builds. Like you, Esoteric, I remember watching your stream. You had the bike that was like the ultimate flying machine.
Oh yeah.
I've seen different variations on the bike. You know, people had these crazy mobile suits. They're building Gundams out there in Zelda and different transportation methods. And you know, the fact that you could use that in the sky, on Hyrule proper, and in the underground was it really meshed well. And the powers I will give it compared to Breath of the Wild. The powers are night and day. Like they are just fundamentally better than the
Mhm.
first game. So for that, I will give it to Tears of the Kingdom. It did a great job revamping the powers, making them interesting, and they never felt stale. I'm trying to think quickly back in my memory. No, they never really felt stale. So yeah, yeah, okay. Anyway, for me to reiterate, Tears of the Kingdom, I think will is the got it. It's cinched for best game direction. So pass it off to you, gentlemen.
Oh, okay. I'm a little conflicted. Well, for Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2, I don't know anything about those games. So I would have to exclude those. I can't make you know, I can't have a cognitive thought pertaining to those two games, so I'm gonna leave those alone. I feel as though I think Super Mario Bros. Wonder is going to be the winner of best game direction. Um, at first I was thinking Tears of the Kingdom for all the things that you mentioned, Gunner. But the thing is, with Marvel Spider-Man and Tears of the Kingdom, those two games compared to their previous iterations are for the most part comparable. Like, when I think about the environment and what Spider-Man does, from Miles Morales to Spider-Man 1, it's essentially the same. It's the same map. It's the same. It's the same mechanics for the most part. It's just tweaked a bit better. And I would say the same, not so much the same for Tears of the Kingdom because the new creating mechanics were amazing, but overall, with the exception of the sky portion of the game, the the deaths, which I loved personally, was pretty much a spitting image of the main portion of Hyrule, basically. Like it was just the bottom portion of Hyrule. Like I would say think of it as like uh, Link to the Past, right? Where the Shadow Realm, I forgot what it was called, was pretty much the spitting image of the Light Realm.
Wasn't it called just the Dark World?
The
Wasn't
Yeah.
it?
dark, exactly, yeah, the Dark
Uh,
World.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm not a fake fan. Trust me, I
mhm.
just forgot. Um, but not to take anything away from Tears of the Kingdom or Spider-Man 2, because I love those games. Like, I think that they're going to win. Like, one of those two are going to win Game of the Year. I feel as though Super Mario Bros. Wonder, from the game that Kong mentioned way back when till now, it's a significant difference. Significant difference. Like, the amount of different things that you can do in that game. Which is why I feel as though that is going to take best game direction. What say you, Kong? Because I feel as though Tears of the Kingdom and Marvel Spider-Man 2 they're not cookie cutter. Like, you're not getting the same game stamped each and every time, but most of the mechanics, like I would say maybe 60 to 70% of the mechanics, are a contributing factor of what was delivered from the previous iterations of those games to now, which is why I say it wouldn't be best game direction for those two.
So I'll start with this. I think every game on this list has incredible game direction, generally speaking.
Okay.
However, I think for the reasons that you both mentioned, Spider-Man and Zelda, while those games I think have really good direction and good pacing. Well, Spider-Man I think less so. I think the pacing of Spider-Man could have been better, but I think overall the direction was good. I think the vision, what they wanted to accomplish, they accomplished, right?
Yeah.
I think because those games have recent releases that are very close to what those current games are, aka Spider-Man 2018 and Zelda Breath of the Wild, I think those two games may not make it. It might just be Alan Wake, but I think my money's on Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
Only because Baldur's Gate, like, we don't get games like that almost ever. So because a game like that was done recently and like super, super, super well, I think that's going to take best game direction. It might take Game of the Year too, but I think Mario's going to eke out a win. But I think Baldur's Gate takes best game direction based on what I've seen. I haven't played it yet. I plan to, but still playing Mario actually. Yeah, I think Baldur's Gate 3 takes it. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Baldur's Gate or Alan Wake 2, so I can't say much about that. But
Yeah, I mean, Baldur's Gate, you have to like those type of games, but if you do, it's a very, very enjoyable game. Okay, so that was best game direction. Now, on to the third category. Best ongoing game. Now, just yeah, okay. That's the caveat for you guys listening at home is, obviously we don't get paid to play everything that comes out, nor do we have a desire to play everything that comes out. So, just FYI for some of the categories, it's going to be, some of them will be like what Kong mentioned. If we have no interest and we quite frankly do not care about a particular category, we're not just going to skip it. We will let you know this is not for us. We have no commitment to it. So just FYI for anybody listening, watching at home. So, you guys heard Kong's opinions about it, so that's him out of the way. I'll just give them their due diligence, and I'll mention them. So for best ongoing game, we have Apex Legends, we have Fortnite, we have Cyberpunk 2077, which is very odd, but it's a fucking single player game. I mean, yeah, it's playable now, so I guess if you want to classify that as going from unplayable to playable, sure, it's still ongoing.
Life support.
Whatever. It's a single player game. I don't even know why this is up here. Final Fantasy 14, the MMO that keeps on ticking. It funds Square Enix's shitty business decisions. And Genshin Impact. I mean, I quite frankly don't really care. If I had to give something, I'll say it's probably, again, between Final Fantasy 14 and Genshin.
14. I think 14 is second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
again,
same.
Yeah, I mean, 14 is recently they just announced a new expansion. So it's not run out of steam. It's still one of the most popular MMOs. So yeah, probably 14. But I mean, doesn't matter to me. I just find it funny that Cyberpunk is up there at all.
Same.
So, Mr. Esoteric, if you have any opinions on this category.
Just out of, you know, knowing the game, I just say 14. I can't really give a good thought process behind why compared to the others because I've never really played the others. I think aside from Apex Legends, which I played literally one time and then I put it down. That was it. So, um, yeah.
Okay, well, there you, you have it, folks. Like I said, some categories are going to be a lot quicker than others because we care about certain things more than others. Nature of the beast.
Yep.
Okay, so moving swiftly along. Um, the next category is best narrative, and the nominees for this one are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, which is a fucking travesty. I'm not biased at all. Marvel Spider-Man 2, Alan Wake 2. You see where I was going about Alan Wake being a recurring theme. And Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, which is the latest and only DLC that came out for Cyberpunk because they had to delay it to make their game work. So it came out. Hey, I'm never gonna let them go. Like they sold a non-working game and lied about it working on the PlayStation 4. Like never let them forget that. So yeah, it's out now and it's on this list. Um, my opinion, I'm gonna have to give this one to um I'm gonna have to give this one to Baldur's Gate 3. Because literally the game is narrative. It is all narrative, and it is a narrative that you can build yourself. You can pick your character. You can pick how they act. You can pick their job. Like the class you start as gives special dialogue options in certain situations. So if you're like a druid, you'll have more you'll have more sympathy for nature. Whereas if you're a necromancer, you'll lean more towards like dark magic and necromancy. So the narrative is great because you can build it and shape it to how you like it. So that's why I nominate Baldur's Gate 3, and I wouldn't minus Cyberpunk. I wouldn't mind if any game won this minus 16 because I think 16 is an abysmal game, and you could fight me on that one. Um, Not abysmal. I'll take that back. It's just boring. 16's a boring game. So anyway, I don't want to rant on my 16 hate. Baldur's Gate 3 for me, best narrative.
Um, okay. Again, don't know much about Baldur's Gate, but I do see with like the other corresponding games that are listed, with the only one being that I played was Spider-Man 2. I'm pretty sure the other games have a well-known character that people know and love within those. Well, let me not say well-known because Cyberpunk people didn't really get to play, so they're now getting used to whatever main character you're playing as. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that the other four games, aside from Baldur's Gate 3, they have a particular character that you're going through the game with. Um, so I'm not too sure if Baldur's Gate is going to be that. It could be, as you stated, Gunner, that they may win because you're controlling the narrative and you're pretty much in the driver's seat. So whatever's happening, it's more of a like connection because it's your character, so all the decision making that you're doing will be directly from you and not anyone else or whatever, as opposed to these other games which have scripted things going for themselves. uh if I had to choose, i would say I would say Spider-Man 2. I would say Spider-Man 2, being so that I don't know any much about the other games. I did play Spider-Man 2, and the direction of the narrative was pretty good. There was a couple of plot armor situations that occurred with a particular character where it was like just didn't make any sense. But aside from that, I think the narration was pretty good. The hardships that the protagonist went through was pretty interesting. It was pretty dynamic, and I enjoyed every bit of it. But I am saying that I'm only saying Spider-Man 2 simply because I can't make any other decisions based off the other games. So I'm just gonna go with the evil I know and say Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
This is one of the categories Alan Wake 2 will win. Moving on.
That's a good point because the first one a lot of people loved, so I that makes sense. But I just hope not. I feel like they're in too much categories. Like what the hell? Best art direction? Are you kidding me? Why are they even there? But okay, you know what? We're gonna go there next. So
Yeah, I mean, probably. Again, you want to be digital only, so you go fuck yourself. But
God.
anyway, on that note, best art direction. We've got Hi-Fi Rush. We've got Alan Wake 2 again.
The fuck is
Legend.
Hi-Fi Rush?
Um, it was a God. It was like a Game Pass exclusive game. Came out the same day as Forspoken and completely overtook Forspoken with half the marketing budget and half the hype. It's like I believe it's like a rhythm action game. I don't know.
A
I didn't
rhythm hack and slash game. So like, and it's like
yeah.
very close to like PS2 game design. Like it feels like a PS2 game, but like plays like a modern game. And it's like a modern rhythm, yeah, action adventure game. Think
Yeah.
like Devil May Cry action adventure.
There you go.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of it now. It looks like the art style is pretty sweet. It looks like kind of like what's that game? Jet Set
It
Radio
reminds me more.
style.
I was gonna say No More Heroes, but yeah, you can
Yeah,
say
that too. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So there's that Alan Wake 2, Tears of the Kingdom, Lies of P, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I am going to let my bias flag fly for this one. I am voting Lies of P. Reason for that is that game looks the art style in that game is fucking amazing. Were they trying to fill that bloodborne hole inside everybody's heart? Yes, absolutely. There's a reason the aesthetics are very similar to Bloodborne. They both take place in like a Victorian England style world, and the clothes represent that. But like again, if you know anything about Souls like games, they come in two flavors. They come in very good or cheap knockoffs. And Lies of P fell into the very good category, at least for me. The game looks great. It plays great. It's not just trying to, oh look, we you lose all your money. You lose all your souls when you die. We're a Souls game, right? No, they didn't try that. They actually they're in the Souls genre for sure, but they made it their own. And in terms of looks, which this category is about, to me, it just looks. The art direction is fantastic. The worlds feel lived in. Like they're the terrain that you visit go from cities to swamps to underground crystal caves. Like the game just looks fantastic. And I'm not even from a graphical perspective, even though that too, but just the art direction, fantastic. So yeah, my vote is clearly Lies of P. And yeah, I'd be great if a Souls-like game wins because obviously the Souls Sekiro's Elder Ring born games, they they're one of a kind. You can't really copy them, but this one doesn't try to copy. It tries to just live in that space. So if it gets a little bit of acknowledgement, I think it deserves it personally. So anyway, yeah, best art direction Lies of P. That's my vote.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Gunnar, in regards to that. I've only played the demo. I've purchased the game, plan on streaming it in the future. But when I did play the demo, I was completely mesmerized with the aesthetics. Like Liza P looked amazing. Not to take anything away from Tears of the Kingdom. Um, Mario's Mario, pretty much. Like the aesthetic, although how innovative those games are from time to time, the aesthetic is pretty much the same. I just seen a sneak peek at Hi-Fi Rush. It looks good, but overall, I feel as though Liza P looks incredible. It was just the from the character you play as to the creatures you fight, very Victorian esque, very steampunk esque. Um, it gave a whole new light to like the characters within the Pinocchio realm. Like to see from what I'm accustomed to, which is like the Disney aesthetic, to seeing them look more gritty and like more evil and grim looking. I appreciated that. Again, only played the demo so far, but from what I've played, incredible. The aesthetics are amazing.
All right. What say you, Kong?
Alan Wake 2. I'm kidding. Lies of P.
All right. Another contender for the old Lies of P. Okay, moving on to our next category. We have Best Score / Music. And the nominees for that one are Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16. Yes, 16. Roman numerals are hard. I'm sorry, guys. And Hi-Fi Rush. Now this one, I mean, you call me a hypocrite, but I'm fully believing that you can separate that when it comes to video games, good music is not always indicative of a good game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So saying that, my vote will be Final Fantasy 16 because before I gave up on the game because it bored the shit out of me, I did hear the music, and the music was actually pretty good. Like, it was really good. I have some on my Spotify playlist, so I think it's really good. Final Fantasy is always known for really impactful, like orchestra style music, like very very big highs. You've got your vocal chorus. Like, they've always been known for that. And when in comparison to these other games, Baldur's Gate 3 has some good music, but it can't compete to the Final Fantasy. They still put effort into their music. While Tears of the Kingdom had good music, I've heard it before. So it's a lot of Zelda themes that we've all heard since Nintendo. Not knocking it, but I would expect that music to be there. If that makes any sense. Alan Wake 2 will probably fucking win because it's got some rapper that sang a really good song for it. I don't know. And Hi-Fi Rush, I didn't play it, so I can't judge its music. So yeah, for me, it's Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah, honestly, I don't have a dog in this fight. I for the same reasons for Tears of the Kingdom, uh, Gunner, I don't feel like it's going to win because it's just them reinventing the wheel with their scores. Which, by the way, I must add that Legend of Zelda, they do have their own like orchestra music as well. Like I've seen advertisements to actually go to a live orchestra and listen to their music as well. So they could potentially rival the Final Fantasy series. However, every time for the most part with Final Fantasy, it's always been a different score. It's always been a new theme of music. Which is why I don't think Tears of the Kingdom is going to win. I'm actually shocked that although the little bit I've played, I'm shocked that Liza P did not have an entry in
Um,
this
okay.
category.
While it looks amazing, the music is okay. Like, some of the boss themes are good, but music is not one of Liza P's strong suits. That I will do.
Okay, because the demo was pretty like the music that I've heard was pretty decent, so I thought it would have kept that momentum through and through. Um, but yeah, I don't have a dog in this fight. I can't make a definitive opinion as to who would win. Honestly, I guess by default I would say Tears of the Kingdom simply because that was the only one out of all of these that I've played and listened to the music.
Okay.
Hi-Fi Rush. I think it's a rhythm game, so it's gonna win it because of that.
Okay. That's spot. Yeah, I mean, if you're a rhythm game, you have some good rhythm. But
I mean, I haven't played any of these games enough to like have an opinion on the music. So it's like my bias, like not my bias, but like my gut is telling me Hi-Fi Rush is going to take this one. So I'm just going to.
all right, yeah. I mean, like I said, not we haven't played every single one of these games. You know, only so much time in the day, and these games cost $70. Let's not forget.
Yep.
So moving on. Best audio design. Now, I think I have a better grasp of this one. I mean, they mean like ambient sounds, like how does it sound when you traverse the world? Like how does the like what's the sound design when a character interacts with a certain thing? So that's what they mean by
It's a crime that Armor Core isn't on here, but we'll
Yeah.
leave that alone.
word
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
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 Um yeah, I mean I feel like skipping over that just on principle of that. But no, we'll go through the categories. So very quickly, nominees are Alan Wake 2 again. You pattern people start noticing. Marvel Spider-Man 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Resident Evil, and Dead Space. Now, my personal pick would be Dead Space because in a horror game like Dead Space, audio design is a must in my opinion. You know, having like weird noises keep you on edge. Like, is that a necromorph or is that just sound? You know, sound cues to let you know when necromorphs are coming. The way the sound comes together when you're being attacked in conjunction with the music. To me, that is key if you want to make a successful horror anything that doesn't rely simply on jump scares. You have to have good audio design. So, based on that, and I've recently played the Dead Space remake, I'm gonna vote Dead Space. Um, that's my vote. So, what say you guys?
Well, the only game I've played on here was Spider-Man 2. But I would agree with you, Gunner, that Dead Space it's between Dead Space or Resident Evil 4. I feel like Dead Space more so because if Resident Evil 4 kept its like core gameplay in terms of like what you're up against, I would think that you're mostly fighting Ganados and they're usually just talking and making little grunts here and there. But Dead Space, it was actually, these aliens that were making a plethora of different like noises and whatnot. And not to mention just the eeriness and the ambiance of the stages that you went through were pretty consistent. Um, I did not play the remake. I plan to, but I'm going off of the old version, the original version of the game, and the audio design was amazing for that game as well. Like kept it kept me immersed in the game. So I'll say Dead Space for this one.
All right.
In my heart, it's Armor Core 6, but
Well, yeah, yeah.
but it's probably going to be Alan Wake 2.
Oh
That's
my
my vote.
god.
All right. Alan Wake is
Sorry,
it's
man. Like this, I think this is just one of those games where it has to be a part of everything so that they win something or a handful of things. And so they'll pad out when they eventually do the Game of the Year edition of Alan Wake 2 in a year. They'll put all these awards on there or whatever, and
It,
that'll push a few more copies. That's my prediction.
which makes
I don't
sense.
agree with it, but that's kind of where my gut is telling me things are gonna go. Listen, RE4 for me was fantastic audio design. Like the fucking Ganados and just everything, like just the chainsaw sounds, just the ambience of the village. Like I feel like that's just top. But there is a certain level of politics that go behind these award shows, so I think Alan Wake is going to take it just because.
Yeah, it kind of feels, and I don't know if I'll get heat for it or not, but whatever. I think it needs to be said because I'm looking at it from an objective standpoint. I feel like all the entries for the categories that Alan Wake 2 was in, I feel like Hogwarts Legacy would have had those entries.
ah.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Just looking
Well,
at it, like, just looking at audio design, looking at score, looking at art direction, um, hell, even game direction, because I've heard that the previous Harry Potter games were pretty shit. A lot of people didn't really like them, and everyone pretty much loved Hogwarts Legacy. So, yeah, I feel like most of these, if they were in any of these categories, if they were even in the running for this, that most of the occupying spaces that Alan Wake has currently, they would have been an entry. They would have taken that. But whatever. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just a idiot gamer. So
yeah, well, no doubt Alan Wake is probably walking away with one or more. I don't think it's game of the year, but anything could happen. But we'll see. Anyway, on to the next one. Best performance. And when they mean best performance, they mean voice acting performance. That's what they mean by best performance. So we have, and if I butcher these names, sue me. Ben Starr as Clive Rossfield for Final Fantasy 16. Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker / Spider-Man for Marvel Spider-Man 2. Cameron Monhagen as Cal Christus, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Melanie Liburd as Saga Anderson in Alan Wake 2. I think that's the FBI agent. Neil Newborn as Asterion in Baldur's Gate 3. And Idris Elba as Solomon Reed for Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. As far as voice acting goes, it's important. I do dislike when there are shitty voice actors that don't play a character well. But as far as this list, I don't particularly care about any of the nominees. Asterion is not my favorite character in Baldur's Gate. I think Shadowheart did a way better job, but she's not up here, so what can I do? And again, Final Fantasy 16 was a boring game, and a lot of that was Clive speaking very low, very slowly, and methodically, which put me to sleep. So I would not nominate him. So again, I will pull one from Khan's book. Don't really care about this category. Good luck to the nominees. I'll leave it at that.
um, I can't really say, because again, the only game I played on here was Spider-Man 2, and I think Yuri Lowenthal did an amazing job as Peter Parker. But I feel like there could have been other nominees, like whoever did the voice of Venom should have been the person up there, especially from the transition to I think the same person who plays Harry is the same person that did Venom. Don't quote me on that. But they should have had an entry. Thinking from it from a intelligent perspective, I would say maybe it would go to Baldur's Gate 3 or Final Fantasy 16, given what I've known little about. Because I'm thinking, based in the realm that those games are in, that the people who are voice acting the characters are utilizing a different accent as opposed to the remaining entries. And typically you have to be really skilled to have to play a different accent or whatnot. Also on the flip side with Idris Elba, because I believe he's like British or whatnot, so he's able to change his accent as well in Cyberpunk. I'm not sure as to what accent he's utilizing. But if I had to choose, I would just randomly select between Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16. I'd go with Baldur's Gate 3.
All right. Kong, I
It's
think I know what
between
this one is. Oh.
it's between Alan Wake and Cyberpunk, but Idris Elba's not going to be there because he's like Hollywood A-lister, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to go to Alan Wake too.
There we go, man. Alan, whew. If Kong's right, Alan Wake is just like backing up the truck to the fucking off ramp so they could just pour all their trophies into the back.
I hope it's Spider-Man though. I hope Spider-Man win this one, but whatever. just out of bias.
We shall see. We shall see. Okay, this one is a fucking weird category in my opinion. Best community support. Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Destiny 2, Final
What?
Fantasy 14, and No Man's Sky. So I'm assuming this means like obviously the community surrounding the game. Who has the best community? I don't know.
No,
Just like
it's community support. So it's like if you have an issue with servers or
oh
the game
okay.
itself, like the people in charge of answering those questions, that's who this award is for.
So
Okay,
why is
so
Cyberpunk? Why is
and I'll just
Cyberpunk
answer. I
there?
think it's going to be Cyberpunk.
I say Final Fantasy 14. I'd say 14.
That's a fucking a war crime that Cyberpunk is up there. Probably yeah, probably okay. So I'll give mine quickly. Probably 14. Again, like just 14 is the reason Square Enix is still functional. So you know, and I've personally dealt with like the support of 14 when I used to play, and they've been pretty good to me.
Same.
And they always keep the the community up to date about when they're doing stuff, when they're changing stuff. They get feedback and whatnot. So yeah, 14. I'll give it to 14.
Same. 14 for all the reasons you listed, Gunner.
Okay, that was that. All right, next category: games for impact. I feel this is a category that us three are not really members of, but I have never heard of any of these games. I'll just name them because I've done it with the other categories. A Space for the Unbound, Chats of Sinar, Goodbye Volcano High, Ticha, Terra Nil, and Venba. I don't know any of that. I don't know any of those nominees. Good luck to you guys. I hope the best one wins. I will leave it at that.
Yep.
Okay, I think it's pretty unanimous on this one.
You're
So-
right. I don't know any of these games at all. I think games for Impact.
luck.
I thought Genshin Impact. So that's it.
You know what? Alan Wake 2. It'll win that one too. Why not? Fuck it. Okay, swiftly moving on. Best independent game. Sea of Stars, Dredge, Viewfinder, Dave the Diver, and Cocoon. Now, this one I do have an opinion on. I vote unanimously 100% zero contenders, Sea of Stars. For those that don't know what Sea of Stars is, it is an indie game, an indie JRPG that models itself after Chrono Trigger. Oh, sorry, Chrono Cross. And it is a phenomenal indie RPG. I mean, phenomenal. You have two main characters. It has a lot of heart. It has a lot of soul. It looks great. It plays great. It's one of those RPGs where it's kind of like in the Paper Mario and Mario Luigi RPG, where if you hit at the right time, you get bonus damage. If you block at the right time, you'll take less damage. So it keeps combat from getting too samey and stale. Great game. I cannot recommend that game enough. Dredge is another game I also played. That's a kind of a what's the terminology? It's a fishing game where you play as a nameless boat captain in charge of your own sea trawler, your own fishing boat, but it has a lot of oh my god. It's modeled after a particular author's work. So it's very like very Cthulhu. You have like Cthulhu sea type monsters. His name is escaping me.
Oh, you talking about H.P. Lovecraft?
Right, there you go. Thank you for the save. Very heavily Lovecraftian. There you go. Lovecraftian inspired like monsters and creatures and people going insane and weird cults. So, and it's also fishing. You also fish. So that's pretty neat. That's a great game. I recommend if you like fishing games, check that out. It's getting a sequel, I believe, it's getting DLC. So it's getting some love. And but I think just Sea of Stars is gonna win in my opinion. The other games I have not played, so I have no opinion, positive or negative, about them. So anyway, my vote, Sea of Stars.
Okay, I haven't played any of these games, although I do have an interest in Dredge and Sea of Stars. So if any of those win, would only solidify me wanting that game even more. So Sea of Stars or Dredge, good luck.
Alrighty.
Um, mm, I think Sea of Stars is gonna win, even though I want Dave the Diver to win because that's the game I downloaded and I plan to play. But I think you're right. Sea of Stars is probably gonna take it.
That's true. Yeah, Dave the Diver. I've seen streamers play that game. It looks very fun. As the name implies, you play as a diver who also runs or co-owns a sushi shop. So you make sushi out of the fish you catch. Pretty neat concept. Um okay, so that's Dave the Diver for Kong. Next category, best debut indie game. Seems like I don't know, just a category they had to add. Venba, Dredge, Viewfinder, Pizza Tower, and Cocoon. This one is going to be very. I know of Dredge. I like Dredge, so I'm voting for Dredge. That's my vote. Pretty much boils down to it. So, moving on.
Uh, yeah, don't have a dog in this fight. I'm interested in Dredge as well, so I'm just gonna go with Dredge. Yeah, that's my vote.
Righty.
I only know about Dredge, but I'm gonna go Cocoon just because I like the name.
It was like, oh, it might be that hidden sequel to Jade Cocoon. No one knew they needed, right? All right, well there you go, Cocoon. I guess Cocoon will be my first when we watch the Game Awards show. That'll be my first time seeing what Cocoon is, so we'll see what it is. Okay, best mobile game. This one's gonna be quick, because I'm pretty sure we don't care. Even though there's one that no, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, nominees: Final Fantasy VII, Ever Crisis, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Wild, um, Terra Nil, Honkai Star Rail, Monster Hunter Now. Um, quickly, I think Honkai Star Rail is going to win because it's the same people who made Genshin, anime waifus, big anime titties. It's gonna fucking win. Moving on. I don't care what wins, but Honkai will win. Opinions. Go.
Yeah, I think Honkai will definitely win. It's gonna take best mobile game.
Monster Hunter now, just because it's a fucking abomination to the Monster Hunter franchise, in my opinion, and it is just a cash grab. But
Yeah.
I gotta respect the hustle. You know, these games, the true Monster Hunter games don't pay. Well, they do pay for themselves, but extra money, extra icing on the cake. I can't blame them. So, I'm gonna say Monster Hunter just for the memes, but it'll probably be Honkai or whatever. Genshin Impact 2, which is I don't know. That's all I see, but
That's
whatever. We'll say
you
Monster
know
Hunter.
you wouldn't be wrong. Yeah. Okay. Good luck. Honkai will win. Okay. Another one that I don't think most of us care for. Best VR/AR or augmented reality game. Horizon, Call of the Mountain, Humanity, Synapse, Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil Village VR mode. Um, Go Resident Evil Village. I hope you win because cool, but I don't really care. Um, Thoughts?
Yeah, I would say Resident Evil Village as well, because 7 was really good in VR. Um,
Oh, that's right. You did stream 7 in VR. Yeah.
yeah, it was quite the experience. I enjoyed it. VR tend to get a little wonky in terms of like motion sickness and whatnot, but overall it was still a fun experience. So I think Village is going to take that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Horizon, even though this doesn't feature Aloy. I don't think, but that franchise needs a fucking win. So gonna give it to
It stays getting bullied by Zelda every year. All right, there you go. Good luck, Aloy, you beautiful, beautiful woman, you. Best action game. Okay. This is easy. This is an easy dub. Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2,
Oh.
Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon, Remnant 2, Hi-Fi Rush. It's Armored Core. It better be Armored Core.
I thought
I'll
you,
just leave it at that.
I thought you were saying that you wanted Dead Island 2 to win initially. I was like, what?
Oh no, hell no. Armored Core 2 is by far the best action game in this entire category.
Yeah.
Armored Core, enough. That's it. Armored Core.
Yeah, if it doesn't win,
Agreed.
somebody has to someone has to eat their shoe in the show, whatever. I want it to win. I just have very low hopes because yeah. Yeah.
Remnant 2 might take it from Armor Core only because it has more appeal.
I was thinking that.
So it could take it, but I'm gonna still go with Armor Core. And not to mention, a lot of these votes are coming from people who review games, and Armor Core is not a well-reviewed game from folks like that. So Armor Core probably won't get anything at the Game Awards, but I'm still gonna vote for them just because.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know where we stand at least, viewer. Okay. Best action / adventure game. Alan Wake 2, surprising no one. Resident Evil 4. Marvel Spider-Man 2. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And finally, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, I didn't play Star Wars. I think a lot of these games have good points in them. Spider-Man 2 for my personal taste, took way too long to get going. Once Venom showed up, the game became a game, in my opinion. So, but it is what it is. I'll vote Resident Evil 4 because I did play the remake. It was fun. In the same way that OG Resident Evil 4 was fun. I will say what kind of pushed it over the edge, comparing it to 4, OG 4, was that Ashley's segments were fun. Before, Ashley's segments were just they were, I don't know,
Hide and
they were
seek.
just they were just a thing you had to do because you'll play as Ashley, she doesn't have a gun. But in the remake she still didn't have a gun, but her segments were a lot more intuitive and a lot more engaging. So they were a lot, which translated to me, they were a lot more enjoyable to play. So my vote will be going to Resident Evil 4 for this one. It's going to be tough. This one's going to be tough. I don't think Resident Evil 4 is going to win it, but it's got my vote for what it's worth.
I would say whichever one doesn't win Game of the Year is the one that I want to win for this. So it's between Spider-Man 2 and Tears of the Kingdom. I already know Resident Evil 4 is a great game because its predecessor, if they were to go one for one with the old game, then of course it'd be a great game. And I've heard they went 1-to-1 and then some, as you just stated, Gunnar, with the whole Ashley segments and whatnot. But again, I don't think it should be an entry simply because it's a remake. It should not be there, in my humblest opinion. I don't think remakes should be a part of any of these categories unless they make a remake category solely for remakes. So by that, I say we eliminate that. Alan Wake 2, don't know much about it. Played the first one, it was whatever. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I heard that was a decent game. Definitely plan to play it, but I'm going to stick with the evil I know. So Marvel Spider-Man 2 or Tears of the Kingdom, whichever one that doesn't win Game of the Year should take that.
Well, joke's on you because Alan Wake is taking everything. So none of your games are winning. No, I'm kidding. But maybe not. I'm gonna go with Zelda on this one.
Okay.
All right, Zelda. Yeah, I could definitely see it as a strong. This one is, in my opinion, out of the ones we've done, this one's got a lot of room for I see no clear winner unless Alan Wake developers dump a dump truck full of money in front of Jeff Keighley's door, but we'll see. Best that's okay. So next category, best role playing game. Our nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Starfield, fucking lol. And Sea of Stars. Now, best role playing game. See, if Sea of Stars wasn't here, I would have gone.
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I would have gone Baldur's Gate, but Sea of Stars is here, and I've just raved about how great that game is. So, and I stick by. I stick by it. Not paid advertisement, by the way. So, yeah, my vote's going Sea of Stars. It probably won't win. I probably see Baldur's Gate or Final Fantasy winning, but I'm gonna throw my vote in for Sea of Stars.
Listen, the fact that an indie title is under best role playing game amongst what is considered to be at this moment juggernauts of the RPG category this year, that's a win in itself. Even if it doesn't win,
That's true. That's a good point.
it being acknowledged amongst these games, with the exception of Starfield, because I heard Starfield was trash. But just it being here just shows how well the game was received. So I'll just say that. But unfortunately, I don't have a dog in this fight because I haven't played any of these games. I played the demo of Lies of P, but I can't say I've played enough, or the demo didn't, provide enough for me to make a definitive selection on this particular category. If I had to take a guess, I'd probably go with Sea of Stars as well, simply because it's a game that I absolutely want. When I saw the trailers of that game, it was a must-have. I'm just waiting for a physical copy. I'm also going to add, it's a good game when people want physical copies but still purchase it as digital,
Oh yeah, I'm double dipping. I'm
Yeah.
buying. I have it digitally. I'll be buying it physically when it comes out.
Yeah,
It's that worthy of my money, in my opinion.
I hear you, because I would have done the same thing, simply because the only reason why I didn't was simply because I was preoccupied with other games at the time. But again, I would say Sea of Stars. I'm going for that. Unfortunately, I heard Starfield wasn't well received. It was a game that I was considering playing, but
I'd save my money if I were you, or just wait till it goes on sale, because it will go on sale if it's not already by Black Friday. I wouldn't even bother personally.
That's the thing. I haven't played any of I forgot the company that made Starfield, but I haven't played
Bethesda.
Bethesda. Yeah, I haven't played any of Bethesda's titles. I did get Skyrim. I may stream that. But I've never played any of them. So I was looking forward to Starfield because I've heard nothing but great things about Bethesda games and what they offer. But I heard it wasn't well received, so I'm gonna go with Sea of Stars.
You ain't missing much, in my opinion. But
Starfield is on Game Pass, so
true.
That is true.
play
Okay.
it on Game Pass. Don't buy it.
Yes, good point.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Baldur's Gate on this one. I think. I mean, if Baldur's Gate didn't come out this year and it wasn't as well received as it was, I think Final Fantasy 16 would have been an issue in.
Yeah.
Not that I think it's the best RPG, but I think it's the one that would have won. But I think Baldur's Gate ekes it out and it's gonna win, which is gonna piss off Square Enix. That is what it is.
Yeah. Well, stop making shit games. Okay. So we got Kong's input on that one. Best fighting game. We've got Street Fighter 6. We've got Mortal Kombat 1. We've got Nickelodeon All-Star Battle 2. And God of Rock, which I thought was a fucking rock band's coming back, but apparently it's a fighting game. and Pocket Bravery, which I have no idea what that is. This one for me personally, I don't play fighting games anymore, so doesn't matter to me. It'll probably be Street Fighter if I was forced at gunpoint to pick one. I'd probably vote Street Fighter because I've seen people rave about that game while Street Fighter 5 did not get very warm reception when that came out. Street Fighter 6 is like a big win with a lot of the Street Fighter guys from what I've seen. So, no real opinion, but probably Street Fighter, maybe.
Yeah, I would say Street Fighter 6 as well, but something in my gut is telling me that Mortal Kombat is going to take it, mainly because of the familiarity of the characters. With Street Fighter 6, it's only a select number of characters that people know and love, as opposed to MK1, where it's like a plethora of pretty much almost the entire roster is everyone that if you played the previous games, you can select that character there. If you go to Street Fighter 6, Balrog absent, Sagat absent, Bison absent, Vega absent, and there's a couple of others to list that I can't think of at this moment, which is why I don't think that Street Fighter 6 is going to win. I do think that Street Fighter 6 has the better mechanics. It's something about Mortal Kombat where I do enjoy playing their games, but they have like a stiffness to them that I can't shake off, which kind of like, pushes me away from them. But pretty much what I'm trying to say is that I want Street Fighter 6 to win, but I think Mortal Kombat 1 may take it.
Okay, very, very possible.
Yeah.
My money's on Street Fighter 6. Mortal Kombat, I think, is well received, but I think Street Fighter 6 was better, was more critically acclaimed. Also, Street Fighter 6 had the modern controls, which I think which allowed a
That's a
lot
good
of
point.
non-fighting game players to play it and enjoy it.
That's
and I
true.
think that's just gonna like push it forward. So I think Street Fighter 6 is taking that easy.
That's true. Okay. I forgot about that factor because I shitted on it, but that's a fair point.
All right. Well, good luck to the fighting games. Okay. Okay. This one is like I guess because there wasn't enough to fill out each category, so they combined two. So our next category is best simulation game / strategy game, and for those we have Company of Heroes 3.
Oh wait, I see Family Game.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
you're completely right. I fucked up. We'll get to that one later. So now, best family game. We've got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Pikmin 4, Disney Illusion Island, Party Animals, play that one with the kids, and Sonic Superstars. Now, being as a non-family man, I don't have much input in regards to a family game. If I had to pick a personal vote, I'd go Pikmin 4 because I like Pikmin 4. But if I had to go with a realistic vote, it's probably going to be Super Mario Bros. Wonder because that game to a child is going to be like a visual masterpiece. It does look great on its own, but like with the what I mean by like bright colors and like Mario and Luigi, blah blah blah. It's also very easy to play. I believe they still have Toadette and other characters like her, which are meant to be easy. So it's meant for like children to not get frustrated. Didn't have that when I was a kid, but that's besides the point. So yes, as you know, personal vote, Pikmin 4, probably not going to be the case. Probably going to be Super Mario's Wonder for best family game. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. Between Super Mario Brothers Wonder or Sonic Superstars, I would say Super Mario Brothers Wonder because of familiarity. Like everyone from living generations know who Super Mario is. They also know who Sonic is. But I think Super Mario has more pull because they've been more consistent with not only the mascot but also the games in which that they make. Like anybody that's played Super Mario on the NES could easily pick up Super Mario Bros. Wonder and play it. Might be some mechanics that are missing that they are not too familiar with, but they'll. I feel like I can say with confidence that they'll probably get it in a in a short time. Sonic Superstars hit or miss, but yeah, I would say Super Mario Brothers Wonder definitely gonna take it.
100% Mario.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think that's pretty pretty much of a shoe-in for Mario. Okay, so back to the one that I was announcing before: best simulation strategy game.
Oh, this is all
So
you, Gunna. I don't have a dog in this fight.
Company of Heroes 3, City Skylines 2, Advance Wars 1 and 2 RE Boot Camp or Reboot Camp, Fire Emblem Engage, and Pikmin 4. So I'm gonna go. Ooh, this one is tough. I didn't play Advance Wars 1 and 2, the Reboot Camp, but I did play Advance Wars 1 and 2. Um, I'm probably gonna say Fire Emblem Engage because one, it is a competent strategy game. Two, it has anime waifus, so that's gonna probably edge it um to the top personally. So I love both of the games, but my money is going towards Fire Emblem Engage for this one.
Um, can't really say for on my end. I do want. I haven't played any Advance Wars games. But I do want Reboot Camp. Fire Emblem Engage. I do have. Shout out to Wolf for gifting me a copy. And I've never played any of the Pikmin games, but I do want them all. I think they're all currently on Switch at this moment. So I plan to pick them up in the future.
I
Um,
think maybe -3
no,
is. Oh wait,
I think they have
three.
one and two together
Yeah,
combined.
sorry. 3 was the first Pikmin game on the Switch. So yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna pick them up in the future. But if I had to choose, I would say, maybe I would go with Pikmin 4. Honestly, I'd go with Pikmin 4. Um,
Okay. Well, yeah, because this one's weird. It's a combination of sim games and strategy games. So you know.
yeah, based on what I know about Pikmin 4 and like the Pikmin games, I think it's more received than Fire Emblem Engage. I think Fire Emblem became prior to Awakening, it was more niche, and then it kind of expanded afterwards. Um, but Pikmin 4 has always had that pull in terms of like the masses who've played it. So I would go with Pikmin 4, honestly.
All right. Pikmin 4 for Esoteric.
I'm gonna go City Skylines too.
Oh.
Okay. City Skylines. I mean, it's a good sim game. They're just not my cup of tea, so I don't mess with them. But all right. Good luck to City Skylines. Okay, so next one. This is gonna be another one that's probably gonna be quick. Best sports/racing game. Quickly the nominees: Forza Motorsport, Disney Speedstorm, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Supercharged, EA Sports FC 24, F1 23. Don't care. Personally, good luck. I hope Hot Wheels wins to fucking just like dethrone Forza. That'd be fucking hilarious. But probably won't happen. But whatever happens doesn't. I don't care. So that's my take.
Yeah, Need for Speed, Mario Kart, F-Zero isn't there, so yeah, I don't care. I don't care about this entry. What say you, Kong?
Forza's gonna win.
Yeah, it probably will. Alrighty. Next category: best multiplayer game. We've got Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Diablo fucking 4. You're funny. Street Fighter 6. Yeah, okay. Baldur's Gate 3, and party animals again. I gotta look up party animals at some point. I'm gonna give this one. Man, I don't know. My bias is Baldur's Gate 3. I forgot you can play that multiplayer, but I've seen people go through the entire campaign as like a multiplayer group, much like a D&D campaign. So that's pretty cool. So I'll say Baldur's Gate because of that. I don't think it'll win. It'll probably be Super Mario Bros. Because fucking Diablo 4 is just a dumpster fire of a game. Does not deserve to win at all. So yeah, my vote will be Baldur's Gate 3.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder easily.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm gonna have to agree, Mario.
Yep. Okay. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much a shoe-in for Mario, but I'll stand for my game. Okay, now this one, I'm pretty confident I will be the only one who has a input. I'm pretty confident the two of you guys do not give a shit, but it's on the list, so we will name it. Content Creator of the Year in a video game award show. Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Quackity, Spreen, and Cypher PK. I'll give it to Iron Mouse because I know who she is. I watch her every now and then. She's one of those hot, cool Japanese waifu VTubers. Um, that's it. I don't really care, but I know who Iron Mouse is, so sure. Do you guys just want me to go on to the next category? Or
I'll give it to Logical Gamers. Content
Ooh,
Creator
yeah,
of the Year.
last minute entry. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody else, good luck.
Yeah, I don't care. Sure, the second guy. I don't know.
All right, second guy. Good luck, second guy. Best. Okay, next category. Best in accessibility. Marvel Spider-Man 2, and just for those who don't know what accessibility is, um, it's in terms of like the menus or aka accessibility options. So you could turn on certain things, turn off certain things, make certain things easier, um, disable or highlight certain things. Just like basically you can customize the way the world is presented to you way more in depth than just like button mapping. So for anybody who doesn't know what accessibility means, that's basic. That's the gist of it. So nominees are Marvel Spider-Man 2, Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat 1, Hi-Fi Rush. I think Kong pretty much kind of solidified my vote when he mentioned in the last category. I'm gonna go for Street Fighter 6 because of the modern control addition that they added to the game. Kong pretty much said it. It brought people to Street Fighter who couldn't play Street Fighter because it was quote unquote too hard. Whether that's a good or bad thing, that's a personal opinion. But in terms of like accessibility, which is this category, Street Fighter 6 did a very good job with that. I don't know if Mortal Kombat 1 did a similar thing, but yeah, I will vote for Street Fighter 6 on this one.
Yeah, I would agree simply because that's the only one that I've in terms of accessibility that I know. All the other games doesn't really like accessibility is one of the least things I even look at when it comes to a game because I personally don't need it. I like to play the game as is without anything. Well, let me piggyback that because I sounded a little bit elitist. I'm okay with playing the game as is because I don't have any issues pertaining to me, like my person or whatever. Um, so with that being said, I don't pay attention to that particular menu. I only know about it in Street Fighter because I play that somewhat competitively, and my biases are against that particular accessibility option that was mentioned. Um, but thinking about it objectively, it did allow, as Kong stated, it did allow, new entries into the Street Fighter franchise to make them competitive and give them a way to play effectively against other players as well. So and actually enjoy themselves. So I would say Street Fighter would win.
Yep.
Street Fighter 6. Move on.
Street Fighter 6. Yes. Okay, I lost myself. Okay, next category, and we're almost done. Trust
Should
me.
be best adaptation.
Yeah, best adaptation. Okay, so again, for those that may not know, adaptation is video game being adapted to the screen, whether that's the big screen or the small screen. So, best nominees are Castlevania Nocturne, Last of Us, The Last of Us, Super Mario Bros. Movie, Twisted Metal, Gran Turismo. Super Mario Bros. Movie will win. Enough said. Any detractors? I doubt it.
Um,
Agreed. Mario's gonna win that.
Yeah.
well, I would say Mario as well, but I've heard a lot of people rave about The Last of Us, so I wouldn't be surprised if it usurped Super Mario.
If Mario wasn't on this list, I'd say Last of Us stood more of a chance compared to the others.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario's on this list, so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was okay. I didn't hate it, but Mario movie. Enough said.
Yeah.
Okay. Next category, most anticipated game. We've got Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, no, Star Wars Outlaws, Tekken 8, Hades 2. Me being a Yakuza fan, I vote for Like a Dragon. But if I have to be realistic, I think Hades 2, because people fucking rave about Hades. It is a good game. I'm not saying it's overhyped, but people like revolve their life around Hades. So I think Hades 2 is going to win this. But my personal vote is Like a Dragon because I like the Yakuza games. And yeah, to hell with 7. So anyway.
Well, sorry to burst your bubble, but although I want Tekken 8 to win, Final Fantasy 7 is going to take it. It
Probably will.
has way too much pull and too many people that loves the previous 7 game for it not to. I think it's going to take it.
Yeah. I can't even. Yeah.
I agree with Esoteric, Final Fantasy, Rebirth.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to get into it, but that game triggers me. Best esports game, another category that we are thrilled with over here at Logical Gamers. Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, PUBG Mobile, Valorant. I don't care. League of Legends is going to win. It wins every year. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I don't care either. I think League of Legends is going to win. I only know a little bit about PUBG and Valorant because I've played briefly. Counter-Strike is a decent game too, but I don't know anything about Dota. But League of Legends, because, they kind of like started the esports sphere.
Yeah.
So
But I think this will be a quick one from Kong.
I'll go with Valorant.
Oh, okay. More of a response than I was than I thought. It's all right. Okay, Valorant. Okay. Anyway, this is even less okay. Okay. I'm just gonna whatever. I'll read the nominations. Best esports athlete. Okay. It's only fair. I did it for every other category. Mathayu Zuu Herbot.
I think it's Matthew. They just was being
Matthew.
Yeah.
Okay. Mathayu. Okay. I get you. No. Matthew. Lee Faker. Not even gonna try. Lol. League of Legends. Max Demon 1. Ew. Fucking chill with that edge. Mazanov for Valorant. Paco Hydra. Call of Duty. Park Ruler, not even gonna try. League of Legends. Philip Imperial Docent for Apex Legends. I don't. Good luck. Don't care. Um,
Yeah, I'm in the same vein. Don't know any of you guys, but good luck. And Kong is speechless.
I mean, it. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. We'll leave
The
it at
third
that.
guy. I don't know.
Third guy.
Demon one.
All right, Edgelord. Okay, good luck, Edgelord. All right, another one we're all thrilled about. God damn. Okay, all these categories. Best esports team: Evil Geniuses, Fnatic, Gaming Gladiators, GD Gaming, Team Vitality. I'm going with Team Vitality because it sounds like a Viagra sponsored team. Like a male enhancement team, so I'm going Team Vitality. I don't care though. And that anything from
I am going to go with Evil Genius, because I am somewhat familiar with that group. They're heavy in like the fighting game community, and I think, don't quote me on this, but I believe, a very prominent player by the name of Justin Wong is a part of that group. So I'm gonna go with them.
All right, you officially know more than me. So sure.
The fourth guy. I don't know.
Fourth guy. Gaming Gladiators. They spelled gaming with an IN. Yeah, I get it. Okay, best esports coach. Christine Potter C. Danny. Why did they have stupid fucking anyway? Danny Zonic, Sorensen, Jordan Gunba, Graham, Remy. That sounds like his fucking bank account. XTQZZZ. Yoon Homie. Not gonna try. Don't care. Are you?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll take a guess and go with XTQZZZ. So, typically when you have a name like that, you're usually good at something. But whatever.
Nah. Yoon Homie. Let's go.
Like they couldn't say his last name, so they just call him Homie. Right. All right. And last category, but certainly not least, best esports event: Evo 2023, 2023 League of Legends World Championship, Blast TV Paris Major 2023, International Dota 2 Championships 2023, Valorant Championships 2023, League of Legends, because League of Legends always wins. That's about it for me.
I'm going with Evo. That's all I'm familiar with. So, Evo.
I'll go with Valorant because that's consistent with my first answer.
Okay. All right. And with that, that is the entire list of the nominees for the video game awards. As you can see, we are more passionate about certain categories than others, but we gave every category, their due diligence, and we named a nominee. Will we lose on best esports team? I don't know. Find out in the stream. So, with that being said, we thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages and stripes, for watching or listening to our podcast this evening. Once again, I'd like to thank my fellow panelists, Mr. BlankaKong and Mr. Esoteric, for giving us their opinions. Pretty much. Okay, so if you liked what you saw, you liked what you heard today, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscription. We drop new episodes every Wednesday. We have a pretty impressive back catalog of podcasts already, ranging from different conversations on video game scores to tier lists to opinion pieces on building Gunpla or moments in gaming. So we run the gambit in this group here. So there's gonna be something that you're gonna like. So check us out. Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe. Like I said, socials will be included at the bottom. So check it out. Whichever ones apply to you. We got them all. We got them Facebook. We got Twitter. We got not Tumblr. Ooh, incorrect. We got TikTok and yeah, pretty much the major socials. Check out Mr. Esoteric. He streams on the Logical Gamers channel,
Yep.
usually every Monday and Friday. But he has been doing some impromptu streams that are unannounced, late night streams, multiple streams in a day. If he's into something, he'll stream more. So make sure to follow him, and you'll know when he streams. It's a good time. Check us out. I'm usually there. Kong's usually there. So, we'll all be there chatting it up and having a good time. So,
Indeed.
I think that was everything. That was the YouTuber thing. As you can see, I'm not the greatest at the outros. But anyway, yes, I'll leave it again. If you liked what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you again, gentlemen, for joining me. And I will leave you good night.
Take care.